We Group 10 will be presenting the social media industry. Speaking of the timeline of the social media sites. In 1997, the first true social media site was introduced in the name of 6 Degrees. In the site, we can create the profile page, list the connection, and even send the message to the connection. In 2002, the LinkedIn was launched, targeting the business community. The company revenue comes from the selling access of the profiles to the members to the recruiters and the sales professionals. The LinkedIn currently has 716 million members and is accessible in 150 countries. In 2016, LinkedIn was owned by the Microsoft. In 2003, the biggest right now, currently the biggest company in the social media industry, Facebook, was launched. The Facebook currently has 2.45 billion users and is making it comfortably the world's largest social media platform. In 2006, Twitter was launched. Uh, Currently, Twitter has 330 million users and it generates its revenue mostly through the advertising on its sites. In 2010, Instagram was launched and it was acquired by Facebook in 2012. Currently, Instagram has more than 1 billion users. And if looking at its growth, it's growing even at the greater growth than its parent company, that is Facebook. Most of this social media industry or social media sites generates its revenue through the advertisement in their sites. Next slide. Talking about the growth of this industry, we will first look at the how many users are currently active in this social media industry. Currently in 2020, December 2020, almost 4 billion users were active in the social media sites, with obviously Facebook leading the social media industry, followed by YouTube. In there, we have seen, although there was an increase in the number of users, we have seen the decline of the growth from 2019 to 2020, with the growth rate of 9.2%. When it comes to the regional wise, the Asia regional wise, the number of users around the world, Asia is the front runner with 16.98% of the users in the social media industry comes from the Asia. Next slide. When it comes to revenue, as we have discussed, these social media sites generate their revenue through advertisement. With in 2019, $90 billion were revenued was the revenue of the social media industry through advertisement, and mostly except for the LinkedIn, they generate their revenue through advertisement only. With all in fact, in 2019, almost 94% of the Facebook advertising revenue came from mobile, where the uh, increase of the mobile and the penetration of the mobile in the rural areas have increased the advertisement revenue also, and also contribution of the mobile in this revenue has been increased. As we can see through the graph, the average of the social media advertising desktops were 5.85, while social media advertising through mobile were 11.51 in 2016 2017, and it has increased to 18.40 in 2020. Next slide. Now coming to the industry analysis, we will be first talking about the political side. Many of the government and the political parties have in different countries have different regulation when it comes to social media industry. In India, the Information Act 2000, which when formed, was for the electronic commerce and the cyber crimes. But in 2018, the new draft rule was proposed, which curtailed the misuse of the social networks and increased the accountability. Now, Hemant will take you forward.
Yeah. So continuing with the political factors, uh, uh, in 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's drive to make every nook and cranny of the of India. I'm sorry, guys.
Go.
So going forward with other political factors. So in 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi came up with his Digital India initiative. Uh, and one of its major goals was to increase to have every nook and cranny of India connected to the World Wide Web. Uh, so the country of origin then the country of origin of a social media platform directly affects how the consumers perceive this app and the amount of trust they have in that app with their personal data. So the ban of the Chinese social media apps in India paved a path for competitors to replace those products, such as TikTok, which was replaced by Instagram Reels and other local players such as MX. Now, moving forward in economic, so the use of social media has benefited businesses throughout. Through social media, uh, companies could connect with their valuable customers much easily and and cater to their needs much better in a much better fashion. Now, in social cultural, when we talk about social cultural factors, we can't overlook the lockdowns that were imposed during COVID-19. The only way people could connect with their friends and family was social media, and their consumption patterns and time they spent on social media had increased drastically. Facebook, for example, saw a 50% increase in their overall messaging on the Messenger app in March 2020 alone. And global downloads of short video sharing app TikTok went up by 5% in March 2020 compared to the previous months. The adoption of social media platforms can depend on the country and the country of its origin. Again, so most social media sites have a global presence that makes it important for them to take social factors and cross-cultural communication into account. In countries like France and China and Russia, where people prefer the native languages, and even in India, we have seen we have seen the likes of Facebook in having the app and the website available in local languages. Now, moving forward in technological, so three factors are key here. That is the increasing internet penetration, the data tariffs getting cheaper over time, and mobile phones getting more and more affordable. So these were the three factors to that have led to a wide boom in the industry on a whole. Now, moving forward, uh, when we talk about legal factors, there have been a lot of questions on data privacy that have arisen time to time, and this is something that had to be addressed. And and government started rolling out and introduced data privacy laws, which that these social media apps have to adhere to, and in breach of these laws have been severely penalized. For example, Twitter was most very recently banned a month ago, was fined for breaching the EU's data privacy laws.
Okay, um, so I would like to discuss Facebook's corporate strategy next. Although the company requires no introduction, I would be explaining how the company became so popular so fast. First of all, Facebook strategically targets millennials due to their digital habits and also because they are the largest consumer of smartphones. This brings us to technology innovation as Facebook's ultimate weapon to grow. Technological innovation is not only for expanding its user base, but more importantly, to retain its existing customers. Next up, we have product and branding practices, in which Facebook, along with its products like Instagram and WhatsApp, generate plethora of data, which is used to derive important insights for advertisement purposes. Then we have market penetration. The main objective behind this growth strategy is to penetrate deeper in its existing markets and increase the market share. Considering the emerging markets, Facebook optimized its user experience by offering fast loading content, even with below average connectivity. Lastly, we have marketing. Facebook's marketing and sales expenses have increased by $5.2 billion, in the last 2 years, which shows competitive pressure on the company from other technologically driven giants. Further, I would like to dive into company SWOT analysis. Facebook's major strengths are its market dominance with 69% of social media market share. Strong focus on research and development has also proven to be its right hand. Major concerns regarding user privacy and spread of fake news have been a drag for the company, which has also tainted its reputation. Apart from this, it is also threatened by increased regulation all over the world and introduction of digital tax. In spite of all the friction in its path, Facebook has identified opportunities such as expanding through acquisitions and diversifying its portfolio. Next, we have LinkedIn.
LinkedIn also needs no introduction. It was started in the year 2000 by Reid Hoffman. This social media networking platform mainly caters to professionals. The main features that attract users to LinkedIn are its ability to combine job seekers with potential recruiters. Next, we move on to the corporate growth strategy of LinkedIn. Next slide, please. First, we look at clarity on goal of growth efforts. LinkedIn focused on aligning its growth strategies to its overall business vision and mission. LinkedIn made sure that people didn't just sign up for their platform, but they in return were able to connect to the right products according to their needs. Stimulating virality. LinkedIn's growth strategy in the early stages revolved around the quality of the product itself. The content was that good that people just couldn't help signing up. Next, we come to systematizing growth. The company then moved on to building a team which boosted their user numbers. An efficient team meant that their users grew from 14 million to 140 million in no time. Using gathered data to boost growth, LinkedIn expanded its matrix on acquisition, activation, connections, retention, and resurrection. It used China as its next stepping stone. Working with partners such as Alibaba and Tencent was critical to its success in a country which boosted its user number to 500 million. Next, we move on to the key metrics. The main key metrics in relation to LinkedIn are the click-through rate, impressions, follower demographics, engagement rate, and followers total and organic. Then we come to the SWOT analysis of the company. LinkedIn has many strengths, such as a strong professional network, strong content business, strategic acquisitions that enhanced its business, such as it was acquired by Microsoft in 2016 June. This deal provided financial ability to LinkedIn and also resulted in incremental growth opportunities for LinkedIn. Diversified revenue streams. LinkedIn has a diversified range of revenue streams unlike any other social networking websites. Next, we move on to its weaknesses. One of its major competitors is Facebook, whose popularity is no doubt a strong competition for LinkedIn. Next, as usual in case of any social media networking site, violation of data privacy is a very big weakness. Next, we come to opportunities. The increasing mobile presence, social recruiting, growth in the Chinese market, and increase in user engagement are some of the many opportunities that LinkedIn has. The threats are in compliance with the weaknesses of LinkedIn. Intense competition and internet privacy issues threaten its existence.
Now we'll be discussing the technological disruptions in the social media industry. The pace of change in technology is becoming more and more rapid. Technological disruption in social media industry is a spiral. Social media platforms drive the technological environment for not only themselves, but for majority of industries across the globe. And they themselves get impacted by these disruptions in form of competition, advancement in technological infrastructure, unavoidable requirement for innovation, etc. Hence, the technological factors that impact the social media industry can be broadly categorized into two parts. Firstly, impact within the industry, which is subdivided into external and internal factors, and next, externalities induced on other industries. Next slide. We'll be firstly discussing the external disruptions. Technological advancements in these sectors, other than social media itself, are a major cause of disruptions in the industry. One major disruption that proved to be revolutionary for social media industry was the introduction of mobile phones. Mobile devices and social media go hand in hand. Majority of social media users nowadays access their accounts through social media instead of PCs, smartphones, and have made everything easy to access from anywhere. Social media is poised to face even more disruption as several new technological advancements go mainstream and as social norms related to social media change. Some of the driving forces here would be rise of artificial intelligence that contains eye-catching user recommendations, streamlining communication with chatbots, sentiment analysis, efficiency, efficiency and image recognition, etc. Secondly, increasing popularity of Instagram stories, expansion of live streaming, focus on Generation Z, continued investment in influencer marketing, increasing brand participation in messaging platform.
So next we come to internal factors. A significant source of disruption and that is unavoidable is competition within the industry. Innovation done by one company forces the other companies to follow the trend. So two of the major instances where this is significant that internal factors impact the technological disruption would be Instagram introduced Reels in later half of 2020, which are very similar to the TikTok app, which lets people upload 15-second edited videos with overlaid music directly into their stories, feeds, or the new Reel section that the Instagram Explore tab has included. The timing of US release of Reels, which Facebook has been testing in other countries since late last year, has also been surprisingly fortuitous. After threatening to ban TikTok in US, Trump now appears to be forcing a sale of TikTok to an American company like Microsoft. So small factors like these can impact a lot of on the company's power. Another such instance is Instagram adopted stories from Snapchat. Instagram had already made its money in 2012 when Facebook bought it for $1 billion. 4 years later, it released its own version of Stories, the very same features which was first introduced by Snapchat. In this feature, the users can upload their photos and videos with their to share with their friends, which get deleted after 24 hours automatically. This came in after Facebook's offer to buy Snapchat for $3 billion was rejected in 2013. Next, we come to externalities induced on other industries. So, technology and social media are very closely related and they move hand in hand. Technology impacts social media, and same way, social media impacts technology uh, in the same manner. So, one major technological disruption caused by social media platforms is the shift towards social media marketing. Companies today are investing more resources on online advertising than they are in print media or other advertising methods. Stats suggest that 71% of consumers are more likely to recommend a brand to others if they have a positive experience with it on social media. So it gives word to word reputation a new definition. And 73% of online marketers agree that their efforts in implementing a social media marketing strategy for their business has been effective. Apart from this, another significant change caused by social media and other business sectors is way companies interact with their consumers. The use of social media plays a significant role in customer service. Mutual benefits of easy brand accessibility via platforms like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and others allow easy customer contact and engaging social interaction, providing brand building and wide scale contact through multiple channels. So, from an entrepreneur's perspective, it saves a lot of time and money while also making it more effective. So, in this manner, social media has also kind of redefined other industries and how they operate. Thank you.